Much is said about the importance of Greek culture and how it has served as a basis for the development of Western thought. But the Greeks were influenced by others, ancient and exotic peoples, who are still a mystery to this day. The Phoenicians are among the most developed and influential peoples of antiquity. Their culture had a great impact on subsequent civilizations. The Phoenicians inhabited the coastal region of ancient Canaan, today the maritime coast of Lebanon, Syria, and Israel. In ancient times, they were known as the Purple People. The term Phoenicians comes from the Greek phonikes, which can mean crimson or purple, a color considered quite luxurious at the time. Around 1200 BC, Egypt lost some territories due to popular uprisings. The Phoenician culture started to flourish during that period. The power vacuum in the region allowed the Phoenicians to build their own trade routes and fortify their armies. Like the Sumerians and Greeks, the Phoenicians had many city-states. These remained independent with distinct cultural traits. With the development of a culture based on maritime trade, the Phoenicians came into contact with many different peoples, such as the Minoans of the island of Crete and the Mycenaeans in Greece. With the expansion of their domains, the Phoenicians colonized new territories. They founded important cities, among which Tyre, Sidon, and Beirut. One of the greatest contributions of the Phoenicians is related to writing. They created a model alphabet that is considered the ancestor of all modern ones. This alphabet is called the Phoenician phonetic alphabet. It reached Greece through the island of Crete. The Greeks, in turn, added the vowels to the Phoenician alphabet, creating the Greek alphabet. The Phoenicians thrived with the trade of wood, slaves, and glass, but their most valuable product was the Tyrian purple. The Tyrian purple is a natural dye extracted from sea snails. This dye is purple red, a color much appreciated by all the ancient nobility. But the value of the Tyrian purple was much more than the beautiful color. This dye did not fade from the garments with the passage of time. Instead, it became stronger and livelier. Another valuable source of income for the Phoenicians was high-quality wine. The Egyptians, for instance, could not grow grapes due to their hot climate. They paid in gold for the Phoenician wine jugs. The Phoenicians still traded in silver, copper, tin, and bronze, while also producing jewelry and sculptures made of colored glass. With so many different products in the markets, the Phoenicians accumulated a truly amazing wealth. All this was possible thanks to the incredible boats developed by the Phoenicians. The Phoenician galleys were called biremes, as they had 2 rows of oars. Other models with 3 rows were called triremes. This was the best type of ancient vessel. Its style was copied by the Greeks, Egyptians, and then by the Romans. The Phoenicians had a polytheistic religion. They worshipped a great number of gods and holy deities. Albeit having a sea-orientated culture, the Phoenicians did not seem to have sea deities. The Phoenicians also conducted animal sacrifices during religious festivals. This was very common at the time in practically all religions. However, the Phoenicians also sacrificed human beings, including children and newborns. Like the Minoans of the island of Crete, the Phoenicians had this duality. They were developed, but with an odd connection to primitive customs. The Phoenicians managed to travel awe-striking distances in the sea for their time. They sailed all along the coast of Africa, reaching the Iberian Peninsula, where today Spain and Portugal are located. It is believed that the Phoenicians also reached Great Britain and traded with the Celtic tribes there. 65 years before Rome was founded, the Phoenicians founded the Carthage in North Africa, a city that one day managed to terrorize Rome. There was a theory that the Phoenicians also crossed the Atlantic Ocean and reached the Brazilian Northeast. But this theory has already been cast aside and is considered an exaggerated fantasy. The Phoenicians are also often quoted in the Bible. The most famous is perhaps Princess Jezebel, daughter of King Ithobal of the city of Sidon. Jezebel became famous for marrying King Ahab of Israel, exerting much influence as queen and priestess. Even with all their fame and wealth, the Phoenicians did not have a unified military force. They could not offer much resistance against the attacks of the emerging Persian Empire. In 539 BC, Persia was ruled by King Cyrus II, known as Cyrus the Great, who conquered Phoenicia without much difficulty. Although the Phoenician cities were kept, many people moved to cities further away from Persian rule. Carthage was one of the main shelters. Its population grew substantially. In 332 BC, Alexander the Great conquered the Phoenician city of Tyre, at the time under Persian rule. Alexander was cruel, ordering the death of 2,000 citizens, among them Persians and Phoenicians. Shortly after, Phoenician culture disappeared from its country of origin. The ancient region of Phoenicia was then dominated by other powers such as the Greeks and Egyptians. Carthage continued to develop and prosper, creating its own cultural identity. Its citizens became known as Carthaginians. In essence, they maintained their Phoenician origin.